welcome back to the podcast. I'm Ashley, your favorite child development specialist / mom, who is absolutely not going to pretend she has it all together, because that's literally the whole point of today's episode. So grab your coffee, cold obviously, because your toddler at the moment and a hot coffee is a luxury you vaguely remember. And settle in, because today we are going somewhere real, like uncomfortably real. Like I thought I was the only one who felt this way, real. And I need you to stick with me because I'm going to say some things today that might initially make you want to defend your Instagram grid, and that's okay. I'm not here to come for your fall photos or your matching holiday pajama sets. I promise. I'm here because I love you and because I think a lot of us are quietly drowning while publicly performing, and nobody is talking about it. So let's talk about it. Okay, I want you to picture something with me. It's a Saturday morning in October. The leaves are changing. The light is that perfect golden color that only exists for like 11 days of a year. And a mom, let's call her Sarah, has been up since 5:47 a.m. because her toddler decided that was completely reasonable wake-up time. Sarah has already cleaned up one spilled sippy cup, negotiated a 20-minute standoff over which color bowl the oatmeal goes in, and cried a little bit in the bathroom with the fan on so nobody heard her. But Sarah also has a photographer booked because it's fall mini season. And Sarah has been planning these photos since August. She found the outfits on Etsy, coordinated but nothing but too matchy, you know the vibe, and they were not cheap. She's been mentally staging these shots for weeks. So Sarah pulls herself together. She gets everyone dressed. Her toddler immediately gets oatmeal on the sweater, of course, so she does an emergency spot clean. They drive to the location. The toddler screams for the first 15 minutes because they do not want to hold still. They do not want to smile. And they definitely do not understand why we can't just go to the playground instead. But then, magic! The photographer catches one perfect moment. Toddler laughing, leaves falling, light hitting just right. Mom looks radiant. Nobody can see the stress behind her eyes if you don't know what to look for. And that photo goes on Instagram that night with a caption, quote, "My whole heart, leaves falling emoji, feeling so blessed," end quote. And it gets 347 likes. And somewhere, another mom, exhausted, touched out, questioning every parenting decision she's made this week, scrolls past that photo at 10 p.m. after finally getting her toddler to sleep. And she thinks, why don't I look like that? Why doesn't my life look like that? What am I doing wrong? And that mom is also Sarah, on a different day, looking at someone else's highlight reel. This is the loop we are all living in. And I think it's making us really, really sick. Not dramatically sick, not in a way that shows up on the outside, but quietly sick. Underneath, in this place where our nervous systems live. And as a child development specialist who has spent years studying how the nervous system works, in toddlers and in their mamas, I have some things to say about this. Okay, let me put my teacher hat on for a second. And I know some of you just heard teacher hat and your eyes glazed over, but stay with me because this part is actually going to blow your mind a little. Your nervous system, the whole complex, beautiful, exhausted system that runs your body and your emotions and your responses to the world, it does not know the difference between a real threat and a perceived threat. Let me say that again. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a lion chasing you and you scrolling past a photo of a mom who looks like she has her life more than together than you do. Both register as a threat. Both activate your stress response. Both dump cortisol, that's the stress hormone, into your body. The difference is when a lion is chasing you, you run. The threat ends, your nervous system resets. When you're scrolling through Instagram, the threat never ends. There's always another photo, another mom, another version of motherhood that looks better than yours feels right now. Chronic low-grade comparison is chronic low-grade stress. And chronic stress dysregulates your nervous system. And a dysregulated nervous system makes you a less patient parent. Makes you more reactive, makes you feel more shame, makes you feel more isolated. So here's the cruel irony. The very thing that you're doing to feel connected to other moms, scrolling, comparing, consuming, is neurologically making it harder to show up as the mom you want to be. And then you feel guilty about that. And then you scroll more, and the cycle continues. I talk a lot about this on my podcast because toddler nervous systems are the same. Your kids need co-regulation. They need calm, regulated adult help. And they lean on to you to manage their big emotions. But here's the thing nobody says out loud. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot co-regulate a dysregulated toddler when your own nervous system is fried from 2 hours of comparison scrolling before you even got out of bed. This isn't a character flaw. This isn't you being weak or ungrateful or a bad mom. This is biology. This is what chronic social comparison does to a human brain. And I think we need to name it loudly because nobody is naming it. We talk about toddler screen time constantly, and we should, but nobody is having the honest conversation about what mom's screen time, specifically comparison-driven social media consumption, is doing to the mental and neurological health of a person those toddlers depend on most. I'm having that conversation today. I want to talk about something else that I've heard multiple mothers say recently. And when I heard these mothers talk about it, my heart just broke a little. Not for them specifically, but for what that moment represented. They said they wanted a specific gender because looking on Instagram, that specific gender looked so much fun. The outfits, the photos, the matching moments. And it was all because of Instagram and how Instagram has made it look. We are making family planning decisions based on what other people's highlight reels are. We've gotten to a place where social media is influencing not just how we parent, but whether we have children and what kind of children we want to have and how many. Sarah might have 10 children and make it look super easy as per her Instagram reel. However, that's making our choices. And I sat with that for a long time because what those women were seeing on Instagram isn't wrong exactly. Those are real moms, real daughters, real moments of joy. But it's curated joy. It's the 1% of moments that were cute enough, calm enough, photogenic enough to post. Nobody is posting the daughter who melted down at Target for 45 minutes over a balloon. Nobody is posting the 3 a.m. nightmare wake-ups, the teenage attitude that starts earlier than anyone else tells you. The heartbreak of watching your kids struggle socially. Nobody posts the hard parts. So we compare our entire lives, the full, messy, beautiful, exhausted reality out of our lives, against everyone else's greatest hits reel. And then we wonder why we feel like we're falling short. Can I tell you something as a child development specialist and as a mom? A healthy baby, regardless of gender, regardless of temperament, regardless of whether they photograph well or not, is the miracle. Full stop. The gender reveal, the matching outfits, the aesthetic feed, those are just add-ons. They're not the point. And somewhere along the way, for a lot of us, the add-ons started feeling like the point. And that scares me It genuinely scares me because the moms I talk to who are the most burnt out, the most disconnected, the most convinced they're failing, they're often the ones most plugged into the performance of motherhood on social media. And the moms who seem most grounded, most connected to their kids, most at peace, they've usually made some version of peace with being invisible online. I want to share a story about one of my ex-clients who I still speak to and so grateful that I have these conversations with her still. Anyways, she's not on social media of any form. And I love that about her. And I'm not saying delete your social media accounts. I'm saying put a time limit on it and realize when your mind is playing games and social media starts to feel like a threat, as if it was a lion in the room. Anyways, I had to stop by her house, and she was outside in the backyard with her toddlers, and she was just enjoying them. No phone in front of her face, and I genuinely appreciated that. So here's what I want to give you today. Consider this your official permission slip, signed by a child development therapist who has seen behind enough closed doors to know that nobody, literally nobody, has it as together as their feed suggests. You have permission to put your phone down during a toddler meltdown and just be present in the mess of it instead of wondering if it's content. You have permission to skip the fall mini sessions if it stresses you out more than brings you joy. You have permission to love your son fiercely and completely without wishing he was a daughter because someone else's daughter looked cute on Instagram. You have permission to have a hard day and not document it, not process it publicly, not turn it into a teachable moment for your followers. Just have the hard day. You have permission to be a good mom in invisible ways. The ways that don't photograph well, the way you stay calm when you really want to lose it, the way you go back and repair after you do lose it, the way you show up day after day in the ordinary moments that nobody is watching. Those moments are the ones your kids will actually remember, not the photos, not the coordinated outfits, not the perfectly staged holiday cards. And trust me, I'm guilty of all of those things. They will remember how it felt to be loved by you. And that doesn't require a single Instagram post. Now, I want to be clear about something. I'm not an anti-social media person. Actually, my business thrives off of social media. I'm literally on social media every day. You probably found me through social media. There is genuine community and genuine value to be found there. But there's a difference between using social media as a tool of letting social media use you. There's a difference between sharing your real life and performing a version of your life for external validation. And I think a lot of us, myself included at times, need to regularly check in with which one we're doing. Here's what I know about the moms who reach out to me. They are not the ones with perfectly curated feeds. They are not DMing me from accounts with ring light selfies and branded color palettes. They are the moms texting me at 9 p.m. saying, "I lost it today and I feel terrible." They are the ones who find my podcast because they Googled, "Why does my toddler hate me?" at 2 a.m. They are the ones who write me long messages saying they cried listening to an episode because they finally felt like someone understood. Those are my people. Those are your people. And there are so many more of them than you think. The realness isn't unpopular. It's just underrepresented. Because real is hard to post. Real doesn't get 347 likes. Real makes you vulnerable in a way that a beautiful fall photo doesn't. But real is what actually helps people. Real is what builds an actual community. Real is what makes a mom feel less alone at 9 p.m. when she's convinced she's the only one struggling. That's why I make this podcast. Not to perform expertise, not to build a brand aesthetic, but because I genuinely believe that when moms understand their toddlers better, and when they give themselves the same grace they give their kids, everyone in that family does better. That's it. That's the whole mission. And if that resonates with you, if you have been listening and thinking, yes, finally, someone is saying the thing, then I want you to know there's a community of moms who feel exactly the same way waiting for you. Okay, before I let you go, a couple of things. First, share this episode. Seriously, if you have a mom friend who needs to hear this, and you definitely do, text it to her right now. Not in the "this is all about you" way, in a "I heard and thought of us" way. Because this conversation is better when more people are in it. Second, I have something coming that I'm genuinely excited about. And I've been working really hard on behind the scenes. If you've been listening to this podcast and thinking, I need more help, I need the actual tools, I need someone to walk me through this, the 72-hour toddler reset is almost here. It's child development specialist backed that helps you understand your toddler's nervous system and gives you a real actionable plan to reset the dynamic in your house. Not in 6 months, in 72 hours. Get on the wait list. Link is in the show notes. Founding members get first access and the lowest price that will ever be offered at. And third, come find me. I'm at Ashley Ventrice Co. Tell me a thing you haven't posted about because it doesn't seem cute enough. I'm here for it all. Thanks for spending this time with me. Now, go hug your kid, however they come, whatever gender they are, however their oatmeal ended up on their sweater this morning. They are the miracle. You're enough. I'll see you next week.